grab a glass of wine and get cozy because this is Girl Shit, where we spill the tea about Bravo books and bullshit. And here are your hosts, Delaney and Christy.
All right, welcome back to Girl Shit. Christy, how are you today?
Always good, always good.
Perfect.
How are you doing?
I think I'm okay. I have a little bit of a headache. I'm a little tired, but we're on the mend.
Yes, and we're ready to talk some shit about the Vanderpump finale.
Yes, absolutely. I freaking loved it. My jaw was dropped the entire time. There's so much to go over, I feel like, in this.
I know. Where should we begin? So let's just do a brief recap of the finale. We found out this is where they picked the cameras back up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
After we found out about the cheating scandal with Tom Sandoval and Raquel.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like the fallout of the whole... Everything. It's what we've been waiting for all season, I would say.
Yes, absolutely. I think, because, let's see, it was March 1st that everything went down when Tom was performing and Ariana picked up his phone from stage and saw the message.
It was a screen recording of FaceTime.
Yeah.
She said in her gut, she knew to go through her phone. Because everyone said it was a message, but it wasn't. She went through his phone because she had a gut feeling something was off.
Which is good. Always follow your gut. Thank you. So that happened March 1st, and then she immediately called Raquel and was like, bitch, explain yourself.
Tell me.
And so that's when Raquel said that I think she just said that they kissed or something.
Yes, she said they kissed, and then when she cornered Tom about it, he said that they actually fucked in Raquel's car.
Yeah.
And then had to come and ring the doorbell to his house and be like, let me in.
I can't even, that just grosses me out. And that's the night that Sheena pushed Raquel as well and scratched her face. Which I could barely tell that she had a scratch.
Was that the same night?
That was the same night because March 1st is when Sheena and Raquel were doing Watch What Happens Live.
That's right.
And afterwards, Ariana called Raquel, and Raquel was with Sheena, and Raquel was like, so Tom Sandoval and I have been hooking up.
But why would you say that to Ariana's best friend?
Yeah.
What did you think her reaction was going to be like? Oh my God, so excited for you guys.
Oh my God. And so it was so funny when I saw the scratch mark. I was like, what am I looking at? I can't even see anything.
Okay, let's be honest though, right? Sheena is a lot shorter than Raquel.
Yeah.
And they both were in heels. So Raquel is very tall when she's in heels. And Sheena said she pushed her. So, if someone's smaller than you, they're not pushing you
Yeah.
They're pushing you like this.
Yeah.
So I highly doubt that tiny little eyebrow scratch was from Sheena.
Yeah. I agree.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Logistically, it just is not right.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
Let's talk about when Ariana and Tom Sandoval talk, in one of the first scenes when they're at their house.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta, Ariana was coming in clutch with all the things she was saying. I was like, yes, give it. What do you think? Do you remember some of the things?
Yeah, I remember all the things.
She was like, he gives me the ick.
Yes.
And then she was like, you mean nothing.
Yes.
Whispered. Oh my God. I was like,
when she said he gives me the ick, I was like, now you know how the rest of the world feels about him. Because everyone's been icked out for a long time with him. I do feel like she did do a good job, but also maybe it was for her closure. The dude doesn't care.
No, and you can tell he doesn't care.
Yeah, I saw this thing the other day, and they're like, stop having long conversations with guys that don't care about you because they don't care. If they hurt you, it means they don't care about you. So they don't care about your long-winded text messages or conversations. The dude doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to see Raquel tonight. He really doesn't give a shit. She's like, when are you seeing her next? Tomorrow.
Yeah.
He didn't care.
No, he didn't. And he had zero emotion when talking with her. Whereas we see in the rest of the episode, he's talking with everyone else and
crying and saying sorry to them.
Yeah, but not to Ariana.
No.
And it was funny when she brought it up and said, okay, so when did this happen? And, what happened? Sandoval's like, it happened, and then it didn't happen for a while, and then it happened again.
Yeah. So it happened.
Because he said it was like August 4th or something.
After guys' night at the Mondrian.
Yeah. It was then, and then he's like, but then nothing happened till Life is Beautiful, like the concert or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in September, so that's like, he made it seem like nothing happened for months and months. It was like, that was like less than a month. Or a month. And then you've been fucking ever since.
Yes. Like, yeah, it didn't happen for a couple of days in between, and you're like, oh, no, it was a one-time thing, and now we're doing it every other day.
Yeah.
But, I love when he was like, do you want anything? And she's like, for you to die.
Yes.
I was like, that would have been enough of a conversation. Should have just closed the book on the convo then, because I literally giggled.
Yeah, that was the best.
On another note, why are they still living together? Like, he could have moved in with Schwartz or anybody else. It's like, if I had to see the person's face that cheated on me every single day, I would probably become a murderer.
Well, and I think they're still living together.
Yeah, she said that, but they don't talk to each other. Like,
which is so weird. Like, when she brought that up at Watch What Happens Live, I was like, you're fucking joking me.
Well, he should get out. He's the one that did the wrong thing, broke the promises. Get out. Be respectful, at least for that small portion of, of what you did. Yeah. And let her have the place till you sell it.
Yeah.
That's
just weird.
No, that would just put me in a bad mood every single morning when I woke up if I saw his face.
Yeah.
Like, not even if he didn't cheat on me. If I had to see his face every morning, I would hate myself. Absolutely. But after that, no.
Yeah, I agree. And I love when they were talking and Ariana was like, you just want someone to gas you up, like stroke your ego, which she could not be, could not be more true. Yep. Because that's exactly what, he's been looking for. And that's even what he said in his, I don't know if it was an interview bit or if he was talking to someone about it, but he was just like, I realize I'm not this washed up 40-year-old and all this stuff. It's like, you are. Like, you saying that literally just proves that you need your ego stroked so hard. You need to get off.
He was definitely just a midlife crisis. Like, that's what he was like. Yeah. Oh, I'm 40. Like, yeah, you're having a midlife crisis, but doesn't mean you need to screw other people over in the process. Like, yeah. And I never believed that. I broke up with her 2 weeks ago nonsense, because why was she at your show holding your phone if you guys weren't together?
Exactly.
So that was just weird. But I did love when she was like, I don't care about your and Rick Howell's friendship.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
and she's like, it's not real. And he's like, it is. It is real. And I just think both of them, him and this midlife crisis and just wanting someone to pay attention to him. But then also her, on the other hand, I feel like, she's just been wanting someone to pay attention to her and then try to also fit in to Vanderpump Rules, because, we've seen in previous seasons that, she's just always been with James, and no one really was, good friends with her on the show. No one really paid so much attention to her besides James, because she was with James. Well, now she's getting the attention of Sandoval and Schwartz, so it's like, I don't know. I think she really took that and ran with it, and especially in this moment, I feel like a vulnerability with her of she feels like her life is falling apart between, her engagement with James being, cut off, and then also with...
But that was also her decision.
Yeah.
So it was like, don't now sit here and be like, I don't know who I am. Like, you know who you are because you chose to break it up with him because you knew it wasn't right for you. So I just think that's like the victim mentality of, oh, poor me. Like, everyone feels sorry for me, and kind of excusing her actions of being a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. I think, both of them were just in this position of being the victim and feeling sorry for themselves, and it sucks because of all the people they hurt.
Well, I'm on the same being victim thing. When he was sitting there and saying, I just wanted someone to respect me, and you didn't give me respect, and Raquel gave me respect, I was like, you little motherfucker. Mm-hmm. So I cheated on you because you weren't giving me respect. I can probably guarantee you weren't giving her any respect either. You cheated on her because you're insecure and you like attention.
Yes.
So let's just say it for what it is. It had nothing really to do with Ariana. You're just a fucking dickhead.
Yes, agreed. Oh my god. So I loved watching that scene because I feel like, Ariana, oh my god. And the last thing she said, any last words before we never speak again? I was like, yes, queen.
Yeah, like, I don't know. And he's fake crying bullshit. I just can't. It's so overdramatic. Like, you should be on a Hallmark movie, you little bitch.
I know. I will say his acting with Lisa and his fake panic attack. I was like, this is not good. This is embarrassing. Very cringe. And Lisa was even like, oh my god, what is happening?
Well, because she wasn't giving him enough sympathy.
Yeah.
And then did you see how he like kind of had to work himself up into it? He's like,
yeah.
He's like, please, God, just put a lip over your head and swallow it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Let's hit the part where he went to Schwartz's.
Okay.
And Schwartz was like, dude, this is rough. Like, I'm having a hard time. Like, I'm canceled because of you. And he's like, get off social media.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. You're not remorseful at all of the situation you put your best friend in.
Yeah. And he's like, Schwartz was like, dude, we went from 4.8 stars down to 1 star. And Sandoval's just like, didn't even care. So that's what sucks about this situation too is, their businesses, Schwartz, and all the other parties that are involved were suffering because of this jackass.
And then, too, I feel like, did you notice when Schwartz was like, you had a game plan and you just didn't put it in motion?
Yes.
What do you think the game plan was? I was like, what does this mean? And tell me more.
I feel like Schwartz at this point was also trying to, like, I don't know. That just seemed like not a Schwartz thing to say. Like, it's like he was almost like trying to say something to like help himself out because he was like, you had a game plan. I told you to tell her. Like, I feel like Schwartz was really advocating for himself in this scene. Like, like I tried to tell you and do this stuff, but then also like I don't know. I just thought that was really weird that was brought up in the way it was brought up.
Yeah, and then I heard, I can't remember if it was on the episode or something I watched after when they're like, well, we're going to tell her before the reunion. That was the plan. So maybe he's referring to like, you're going to tell her before the reunion. But at the end of the day, even if you told her, you still did it behind her back for 7 months.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered if you told her 2 weeks before the reunion because you were already 7 months in of being a pathological liar. So it's like, what was the point here?
I know. And even Sandoval, he like went with that to think it was okay. He's like, dude, it was like 2 weeks ago. I was trying to break up with her. He was telling Ariana, I was trying to break up with you, 2 weeks ago. And it's like, why do you keep bringing the 2 weeks ago up? You had still been fucking Raquel.
Yeah.
Since August.
It doesn't matter if you broke up with her 2 months ago.
Yeah. You're still doing it.
Yes.
You've still done it all this time.
You still cheated on her with her best friend. So it doesn't matter the time frame of when you wanted to break up with her because you still did a shitty thing.
Yeah.
And then did you see how he goes, I got the vibe Ariana didn't want to know.
I know. It's like,
I get the vibe that you're a dickhead because
it's fucking stupid as fuck.
Yeah, if she doesn't know, how does she know she doesn't want to know?
And also, of course, no one like wants to hear that their significant other is fucking other people. Nobody wants to know that, but we need you need to tell them.
Okay, so after he said that, then he goes, well, when I went to the Life is Beautiful thing, and then I was saying at Schwartz's, he was like, well, Ariana should have followed me and she would have known I wasn't doing that. But then he was like, don't put that responsibility on her. Like, he's like, oh, she should have followed me? Bitch, you're 40. She's not that much younger than you. She's going to go creeping around at night like a fucking ninja trying to find out where you are. And did you see, though? On What's What Happened Live, she goes, I did have your location. And you're at Schwartz's. Yeah. So I was like, ooh, there's a story there that we're never going to find out. But I do want to know. But I just was like, now you're trying to blame her for not following you around at night?
Yeah.
Like,
I know, it's so stupid.
I literally don't think there's like, I think he should have had a PR team talk to him before he did this episode and be like, honestly, dude, anything that you're thinking about saying like off the cuff, do not
say it.
Because everything he said was just like made him look worse.
Yes.
Way worse. made him look like he couldn't keep his story straight because the situations were always changing.
Yep.
Like he would have been better off to actually be like, I'm not filming, but I'll write a statement.
Yeah, he definitely would have been better off because everything he was saying, I'm like, you're just fucking yourself even harder here. Like, you are not advocating for yourself at all. I do want to bring James in this episode.
The phone call?
This episode was hilarious. And I love how they flashed back to 2019 when James was talking about Raquel. It said, like, Sandoval was talking to James back in 2019 and said, you know, you got to have respect for your girl. She would never cheat on you. She would never betray you. And I would never do that either. And see.
And turns out in 2022, they would.
Yeah.
I guess they evolved from 2019 of being decent human beings and evolved into huge pieces of shit.
Yeah. And in that conversation that James, you know, called Raquel, and he was like...
Sandoval, cocky cock.
Yeah. And he's like, how does it feel to be, like, the most hated woman? And Raquel's like, well, now I feel shitty. It's like, yeah, now you feel shitty because you got caught.
Yes.
You never felt
That's
shitty
a typical
before.
cheater, though.
Yeah.
They don't care why they're doing it. They care that they get caught. Did you see the part where James was like, I am way more upset. Like, he's like, I don't care what Raquel did, but I'm more upset with Tom because he just, like, pissed all over our friendship. And, like, he got emotional. I was like... And I was like, when Sheena got emotional about Raquel not being her friend, I'm like, these people, you actually just didn't even hurt just Ariana. Like, you hurt a whole circle of people. And, I mean, and you had to know it was going to blow the friendship up.
Yeah.
Like, it was going to blow the group up.
They didn't even care.
But whether he cheated or not, honestly, so just say everyone broke up and those two still decided to hook up together, it still would have hurt the friendship group. Maybe not, it wouldn't have been so hateful afterwards, but the friendships would still be over.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know how anyone's going to go on from here. Like, the next season, you know, what dynamic is going to happen.
I did
Who's gonna
see
be on it.
Ariana said if Tom and Raquel are on there, she won't be.
I mean, good for her.
But I feel like we need them all.
I know. Because that would make the best TV.
Yeah.
I understand for...
Her mental stability, I think, yes.
Understand.
For our personal benefit, we would like them all.
I did. Okay, one other thing with James. He just fucking cracks me up. So He was like, okay, to Raquel, the smartest thing you've ever done was creep around with Tom Sandoval. And I would be like, hell yes. That is the smartest thing she's done because I think she's fucking stupid. So the fact that she was able to, like, hide that, and I think even... Lisa might have said something to that extent of, like, you know, her creeping around with Sandoval was like, you would never expect that from her.
No, because she plays the dumbass.
Yeah.
And I really think she's actually a very good manipulator. I don't think she's as dumb as we all think she is, to be honest. And some of the scenes, she should actually be an actor because the way she played, like she was Ariana's friend, and definitely was not.
Yeah. I guess. Hopefully she gets booked for some TV shows, not reality.
Hopefully some TV shows where they, like, feed him to sharks or something.
Absolutely.
Like, or the challenge and let her fall off a ledge and break her face.
Yeah.
That happened to another girl on that show, so it's not like it's...
It's not impossible.
Yeah, it's not out of this world. So, back on to the cheating things, and Lala was claiming that Tom hooked up with Billy Lee. Did you see that part?
I did see that part, yeah. What are your thoughts?
I maybe a little far-fetched. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, honestly, on that. I can't... I mean, I wouldn't put it past him, right?
I mean, I would put nothing past him at this point. At all.
Yeah.
So one thing, too, when Tom went over to Katie's, or actually, I don't think... And then Katie brought up how Tom said at BravoCon, when Raquel was in the Tom sweater with nothing underneath and was, like, being a little fangirl. And Katie was like, oh, my God, she's here for you. And she goes, trust me, she's not here for me. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
And that was, BravoCon was in October in 2022.
Yeah.
So, and it had already been happening since August, I think. So Tom's claim that he knew about the one night stand and then nothing else.
Yeah.
Not buying it.
No, he knew for sure of everything because he's that close with Sandoval. And like we talked about in like the previous episode, you know, Schwartz kind of always thought Raquel was hot and yada, yada, yada. But then all of a sudden it went like cold.
Yeah, I don't find her sexually attractive.
Yes, and it's probably because, you know, Sandoval and her were...
already balls deep?
Yeah, and Sandoval's like, hey, I actually like Raquel. And so I think definitely Schwartz knew. And it's funny that he said that and Katie picked up on that. Because it's like...
Well, it's a weird thing to say. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that she's rocking like the Tom sweatshirt when it's...
So it's
she wasn't like, you know, it wasn't Katie or Ariana, you know, like how they have an actual relationship with them. You know, it is kind of weird for sure.
Definitely red flaggish. I would have been like, so there's 2 Toms. If he's not here for you, minus 1 Tom, that leaves Sandoval left.
Yeah.
Really simple math.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Sorry.
Nope, you go.
I was just going to say I hate Raquel's stupid fucking smile. When her and Tom are talking in like her apartment, she just kept like going like these stupid fucking smiles, and you could just tell that she doesn't even give a shit about anyone. And their whole conversation, everything about that was cringe. I found it funny. She had her little galaxy lights on, and she had like an overhead light on, and Tom was like, can we kill some lights? And she turns off the overhead lights, so it's just the galaxy lights. I love how that kind of like plays into it, like the full circle when she was on, you know, vacation.
The trip.
And everyone made fun of her.
Right before all this started.
Yeah.
Which also, speaking of that scene, that when they cheese and Tom goes, cheers to being in hell, and Raquel goes, and he goes, where we belong, and Raquel goes, I don't think we deserve to be in hell. I was like,
you don't.
No, actually, hell's too good for you. And then Tom called her Ariana. Did you see that one? And then she's like, you just called me Ariana.
Oh yeah, that was.
I was like, you're such a twat.
And it was so funny when
and she said,
Tom Sandoval was talking about his parents and stuff, and they're like, oh, they love you, to Raquel. And Raquel goes, I love you too. And he's like, I said they love you, but I love you too. Like, awkward.
Dude, I actually like clenched my asshole when that happened because I was like, oh, this is so, like, you already look like a idiot.
Yeah.
But this makes you just look so much worse when he's like, oh, they love you. But I'm like, it actually creeps me out that they're like saying I love you to each other because like really.
Yes. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like that's so strange. How do you, I don't know. Like really, how do you love someone? You love the idea of them when you're cheating because you don't have a foundation of an actual relationship.
Yeah.
You love the thrill you get from sneaking around.
Yeah.
You love the attention they're giving. Like you love the idea of it. You don't love them. Because honestly, a lot of people in real life, when they cheat with somebody, they actually never end up together. Like, have you noticed that? It's like, you'll be like, oh, this guy cheated on his wife with this person. And then after a couple months, they break up. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's probably the odd case where someone cheats and they actually stay together, but it's very rare. Because really, when it comes down to real life, you guys don't love each other. Yeah. You love the whole thing around cheating and the adrenaline rush and all that, but you don't actually love the person. And I definitely think that's the situation with them because Tom doesn't love anyone but himself.
And it's just, well, I mean, classic narcissism, right? And all they do is love themselves. They play the victim and everything. And, you know, they can't really be in a relationship. And they do love the thrill of it. They want, you know, people to be like, oh, my God, and just, like, put them on a pedestal, which, you know, is what we've talked about before is what happened with Kristen. Then it was Ariana, and now it's Raquel. It's
who he
that
is.
Just keeps repeating. You know, he's never going to be able to actually settle down with someone. I mean, I even know people in real life that are classic narcissists, and they're on their third, fourth, fifth wife.
At that point, like, you're not good at marriage, so, like, maybe stop doing it.
Yes.
I feel like you should really acknowledge your strengths and weaknesses. And if you're a cheater, marrying someone is probably not for you. Just life lesson 101 today.
Yeah.
On another note, when she was like, well, we did say we wouldn't do it if we didn't think it was worth it.
Gag.
I know. I was like, well, if you really wanted to be together that badly, break up with Ariana and then give your trash relationship with Raquel a real chance.
Yeah.
But how is it worth it when you're starting everything on a lie?
Exactly. It's always going to end on a lie. That's what I don't understand with people. I did love Sandoval's little interview bit, though, after the scene with her, because he goes, maybe things will work out with Raquel. Maybe they won't. It's like,
yeah.
you're just screwing up so many people's lives, and you're just like, maybe.
Well,
maybe.
Speaking of their little interview after, and she's like, I just wanted to know what it felt like to have sex with someone I felt that way about. That's someone you love.
She's a dumb whore.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't your someone to find out with, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be physical with someone that you love. I'm like, so you didn't love James at all for 5 years?
Yeah.
Like, and she's just giggling. Like, there was no remorse. And I'm like, that is the signs of a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not sorry, your life just exploded. And you know, this is what blows my mind. Even if you're not sorry, this is going on international television. And you're sitting there smiling like you're a fucking Big Bird. Like, you dumb bitch. At least act like you're sorry.
Yeah.
Like, in pageants, surely you had to put on a face of, like, being, you know, like, oh, yes. It's all acting. Mm-hmm. So you should have acted a lot harder than you did there.
Agreed.
Like, if I was her family, I'd disown her.
Yeah. I think, like, what I have read recently is that I know Raquel's family does not like Sandoval.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is there anything else to say? Who does like Sandoval? At this point, let's all raise your hands if you like Sandoval.
Nobody.
Literally. Nobody. She's like, I feel so isolated. Well,
yeah, you should do it to her fucking self.
Literally. The bitch should move to Iceland. Because I don't know if they have TV there, and I'm sorry if you do, and I'm saying that you don't. But it would be safer for you. Go live with the polar bears or some shit. And, like, don't involve yourself with humankind for, like, the rest of your life. Or get a face transplant so you don't look like yourself, so you probably won't be.
That's probably the better.
Yeah, because everywhere she goes for the rest of pretty much
her life.
Mm-hmm.
At least in the near future, everyone's gonna know who she is.
Yeah.
And call her hooer.
A hooer.
Whore.
That's a nice way of saying whore.
It is. What else happened?
And then she was wondering if Tom will cheat on her too.
Yeah, you dumb bitch. Like I said, it's a cycle.
But do bears shit in the woods?
Yes.
That's your answer. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's funny how Lisa is so motherly to them. Like, I would get exhausted. They're so drama to all of them. And she always has to mother all of them. And I would just be like...
I did see something. Maybe you sent it to me.
I probably did. I send you a lot of things. And a lot of the times you don't respond, so it hurts my feelings.
3. But I did see that Lala and Ariana have unfollowed Lisa Vanderpump.
I did send that to you.
Okay. So you.
I also, yes, I did know about it, but other people may not have. I don't, which was crazy because I was just at the dog fundraising thing.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's just for some more attention or the game plan is there.
I don't know either, but I feel like with Ariana, like, it's hard. And I think she talked about it on Watch What Happens Live of like, okay, well, Lisa Vanderpump is the only exception to everything. So I wonder if something happened more that I think that the article even said that maybe Lisa Vanderpump knew the entire time.
But to be like, okay, back to this other people knowing thing. What do people want you to do? Like, Lisa Vanderpump is their boss on the show. So if she knew, what was she supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like, I just think, like, even Schwartz, like, you can't expect people to tell you, even though, like, if it was me, I would. But you can't, like, it blows up their lives too. And honestly, the messenger always is the one that gets shot.
Yeah.
Like, everyone always gets mad at the messenger, even though they're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
So even if she did know, what was she supposed to do?
Yeah.
Because she's also like a mother figure to Raquel and Tom and Ariana. So it's like.
And in business with Tom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I just think it's like, I thought maybe it's because she wouldn't kick Tom and Raquel off the next season. That's what, like, my thought was. Because then I would be pissed. Like, okay, well, you're choosing them over me.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't make... And then Lila is just a hyper girl. Because she's probably like, that's bullshit. You should have Ariana's back.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I thought maybe that came from. But also, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But it'll be interesting to see if anything else comes out about that.
Yes. How did you feel about Kristen being back?
You know, in the first seasons, I didn't really like Kristen a whole lot. I think I kind of went back and forth. I need to rewatch actually everything. But when she came on, I actually liked her appearance. I thought it was fun. I thought it brought something else to the table. I don't know.
I do like their friendship. And I actually thought it was nice when she was like, I'm sorry that you had to be the one to take him away from me and this happened.
Yes.
Because normally girls would be like, I'm glad he cheated on you too, because it happened with them. Yeah. But also they were such a toxic, Tom and her were such a toxic relationship to begin with. But I do think she should stay. And I would really like Stassi back.
I would too. I hope they all come back, actually. I want the original...
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and see what they're up to. I did like how they did do a flashback when Ariana and Tom Sandoval got together, and in Kristen's interview bit back, whenever that was, she goes, "You win, Ariana. You win sharing a bed with the best liar I have ever known." And I love when they do those little bits because it's like, holy shit, everything is like...
Full circle.
Full circle.
And then did you see how they were like, he was like, well, Ariana knew about the Miami girl. She knew the truth about that the whole time when he was having a conversation with Sheena.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, what's what happened live? She goes, they did sleep together, but I didn't want everyone to think he was a huge piece of shit.
She should have just
ran then. She but hindsight's a bitch.
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we knew now what we knew then what we know now.
Yeah. And I would also say, like, I feel if that were to happen to me, like if my significant other slept with someone or even like kissed someone, I would get the fuck out. And that's easier said than done, I feel like, because we've seen with a lot of people still stick with their significant others, but I would just get the fuck out. And so she should have done that then. And she also probably shouldn't have started this relationship when he was still with Kristen.
There's a lot of things that I think should not have been done. Mm-hmm. But also, too, like, now I'm sure she won't put up with that again if someone else does that. Like, so I think, too, it's also a learning curve. And, I mean, how did she know 10 years later he was going to do it again? Mm-hmm. It's just, unfortunately, it's a lesson that she had to learn.
Yeah.
For a second time.
Absolutely.
So let's hit the part where Schwartz kind of gate crashed girls' night.
I did love how Ariana showed up in gold and everyone else was in black.
It's like a funeral for Tom.
Yes.
But Schwartz kind of pissed me off. Because he made that whole conversation about himself.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He was like, I've been canceled. Oh, this is my business. It's like, dude, you came here. She doesn't give a fuck about your business right now. Like, she's just trying to survive. Mm-hmm. And you came here talking about yourself when really you were her friend as well. And you didn't tell her the information you knew, which I understand where you stand on that point. Yeah. But don't go there and be like talking about yourself. Like, grovel a little.
Yeah.
I did like when she was like, I will not be friends with anybody that is Tom. We're friends with Tom, so we're not friends anymore. I mean,
which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, she's, standing up for herself. But, yeah, the Schwartz, I don't even know what he was thinking there. But I wish that conversation would have went better because Ariana, I mean, she deserved to get an apology from Schwartz, even like...
Just for covering for him.
Yes, and still just saying, like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. You know, just even that. And
I know what you're going, like, you know, I feel for your pain. You're going through a lot, which also too, like, we have to remember in that whole time, Schwartz was also going through divorce that he didn't want. So I think too, like, the dude was probably in not a good place himself to be there for Ariana either. But I do think the conversation should have been more directed on her and her feelings and how he felt in being canceled.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think he would have probably redeemed himself with a lot of fans if he had have taken that stance instead of, let's make it all about myself and the struggles I'm having when the girl's life just literally exploded.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Let's hit real quick. I know this is a long one today, but the conversation with Sheena and Tom at Sheena's house. I will say holy redemption for Sheena.
Yeah.
I was like, girl, you probably my favorite person this season.
Yes, because, you know, Tom was trying to be all like, you know, fake crying and explain himself. And this has been all over Instagram and TikTok of how she was like, but you fucked her friend instead, you know? And
I was trying to break up with her, but she threatened to kill herself, first of all. No, she didn't.
Yeah.
No, she didn't. And actually, I've seen a lot of guys say that. Like, but if this is true, let's say in the crazy world of Tom's nail polish, that Ariana said, if you break up with me, I'm going to kill myself. You think cheating on her wasn't going to push her over the edge too, though? So that's why I don't believe it. Because, like, that's a fucking crock of shit. And just your reason you stayed in the relationship and to do what you did and make the excuses of it. But she was like, well, if that's the case, you fly whoever the fuck she's in. There was a bunch of names. And I don't know. But we all rally around her and we do this. But instead you fucked her friend. I was like,
yes.
Yeah. And then, and she's like, well, I'm not your friend anymore. I'm going to really miss you, but I gotta cook dinner for my kid. Get the fuck out.
I loved that.
Yes.
She was definitely, standing up for herself then because, you know, Sheena's always been like a people pleaser of sorts. So I really liked how she said that to him and was like, peace, bitch. Like, get the fuck out of my life.
I actually feel like this season, even with the Katie drama with her, she really kind of stood up for herself and was like, you know what, I've had enough of this. And to be honest, she has been getting picked on for a long time on that show. But now I'm hoping that this happened. The girls can actually rally around each other and really support each other, like on a newfound friendship now. Because really, they are all true friends. Like, they don't really do shady shit to each other besides Raquel.
Yeah.
So now that they've had this trollop come into the friendship group, cause a ruckus.
Yes.
They'll actually be like, hold on a second, we are all good friends and real friends, and maybe we can stand by each other.
Yeah, which is good. It sucks that it has to be at the expense
of Ariana's feelings, but I do think she's better off. Everything happens for a reason. She's dropped the weight and she's thriving.
Yeah.
And by the weight, I mean Tom, not anybody weight of hers, because she's always looked great.
Oh, absolutely.
Not. Yes. And okay, so now quickly, before we take up everyone's whole day on this episode, we're going to jump to What Happened Live real quick. Dude, girl looked amazing.
She did. Loved it. I love that she was on by herself. Oh my God, she just looked so good.
So good. And then she said she was suspicious though. She said she had an inkling, and obviously that's why she looked through the phone. Yeah. But she also thought that because Tom wouldn't break up with Ariana, that Raquel was getting bold. So that's why she was having those hard-pressed conversations about the relationship. Just trying to, like, be like, oh, if you're not going to break up with her, I'm going to start getting involved in more and more of your business. Yeah. Where it could potentially put him in a spot where it comes out. And she said that he did never try to break up with her before on that What Happened Live. And he said, did he try and break up with you? Because no, he never did. So
yeah, fucking liar.
And she's like, I'm very happy and very satisfied.
I love that. I was like, yes, please. Get that dick.
Yeah, get the dick and enjoy the dick.
Yeah.
It's not just a worm with a mustache screwing you, I guess. And then, well, that's what James called him on the preview for he's like, you're just a worm with a mustache. I was like, that's pretty good description.
That is.
Yeah. Like, and then they said, so I don't know if everyone else saw this, but a couple of days ago I saw that Tom and Raquel had broken up. And I think I sent it to you. Yeah. But then when we watch What Happens Live, she was like, no, she was sending handwritten letters to Tom to her house just a couple of days ago. So I think unless Tom's ditched her,
yeah,
I think they're probably still hanging out. And on that note, the details of her being pregnant.
Yes, when you sent that to me, I was like, you are shitting.
Well, first I saw it and I was like, okay, maybe not, because we've seen some other rumors come out. Like, I guess that whole Instagram things with the text and how he had another girl pregnant, that was a scam. Like, that wasn't true.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, maybe it's not true the first 2 times. And then I saw the thing that said confirmed by her sister. And then I also, on driving here, I saw that Lala commented on the pregnancy. I haven't watched it yet. But I was like, it would make sense why she's in hiding.
Yeah, definitely it would. Oh, my God.
I know. I just feel like another Tom Sandoval running around.
Yeah.
I think we should all rally together and do a GoFundMe for a vasectomy for Tom Sandoval.
But then I think about, when he went and talked to the doctor about his little swimmers.
Oh, and they were
like not really swimming because he's done so many drugs around the tight pants. So I'm like, is she pregnant? Like, is she just fertile myrtle and his dead swimmers can like get there?
You're like swimming backwards.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like, is she really? Because his swimmers aren't doing great? Or did he start wearing, no underwear, some loose shorts and off the drugs?
And drinking.
And
hot tubs. Hot tubs kill your sperm, and he does all those things. So hopefully it's a rumor, but I guess we'll stay tuned.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out some juicy details on the first episode of the 3-part reunion this week. And I'm sure we'll be back with more tea for all of our listeners.
Absolutely. Thanks for hanging with us today. It's a long one.
It's a long one, but a good one.
Yes. But, when you have the tea, we got to spill it.
That's right.
All right.
We won't be cleaning up the tea today.
Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Girl Shit. If you had as much fun as we did, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, babes.